All right, in this video, I want to look at validating our CSS. Just like we validated our HTML, we also want to validate our CSS. Before I do this, I want to point out that I've been making edits to my page and I've been previewing them. They're saved in my repos on a folder on my computer is where I've saved the copy of this repo from the internet. If I actually go out to the link that was generated when we shared this online and look at it, it doesn't have any of the changes I've made so far. That's because I've modified these files. I've actually added the CSS file and been doing all this experimentation, but I've never committed or pushed these to the internet. So let me go over here to my source control, and I can see that my style is a new page. An index has been modified. So I'm just going to make a comment here. I added some styles to my website. I'm going to commit those changes and I'm going to sync them. And remember, when we do a sync here, it takes a little bit for this page out on the web to sync up. All right. But I want to do that before I start doing this next section. That way it has time. So now I've sent my changes up to GitHub. Okay, I was working on them locally on my computer. I've added the files, I've committed and pushed them back to GitHub. The changes would be reflected on my GitHub page, but the website takes a second to update. So while I'm talking about this, it's updating in the background, and we'll look at it in a minute. How do I validate my CSS sheet off of my computer? It's on my D drive in my JavaScript repos folder. First of all, I need to go out and find a validator. So I'm going to type validate CSS to Google. And the first thing that's going to come up is the World Wide Web Consortium's web validation service for CSS. And we'll just go there. It looks very similar to the HTML validator. Okay, and we can validate by URL, but I don't know the URL yet. Well, I can probably figure it out. But I can also validate by upload. So let's choose file and we'll do the upload. And I'm going to go to my repo. So I had a copy of this on my desktop, so don't accidentally do that. I want to go to the repo that I've been working on. JavaScript repos website. There it is. Here's the style sheet I've been working on. Let's open that and check it. And it says, congratulations, no errors were found. I'm not sure if I talked about this on the HTML, but if you find errors, sometimes you'll click and you'll see, hey, you have 13 errors on this tiny little piece of style sheet. Don't panic. Fix the first error, because these parsers, once they get hit the first error, it kind of messes them up for the rest of the way. Fix the first error. Figure out what's wrong with it. Now I know I have an error here because I don't have a semicolon on that property. I'm going to save that, refresh it. I got to go here and hit check again. No errors found. But if you do get an error, fix the first one first, save it, go back and revalidate it. You might find that fixing one error fixes 5 other errors. And that's true of HTML or CSS. So that was actually running it through the validator by file upload. Let's go back. Let me see if my website's updated yet. And it has. My website's been updated. If I right click on it, I can look at the source. And I can actually click on my style sheet and it opens the source for my style sheet, but it also has a web address for my style sheet up there when I do that. So I can copy that. And I can go back here, and if I want to, I can validate using that URL. Same style sheet. Now I'm accessing it through the URL and check it. And again, no errors were found. I've done a good job putting my style sheet together. Okay, so validating by URL requires an HTTP address. Validating by file upload is where we check it. by choosing the file off of our computer. I like to validate by the URL because I know that's the final version that's out there on the website. And I know that what people are seeing is going to be good. So a lot of steps there. I went through that a little bit quickly. On my page, you can validate by HTML by using that address and going to the HTML validator. But I can also view the page source and click to show me my style sheet. If I want to get the address for that, to do that on the website on the public page. Get the address for that on the internet, paste that in to validate by URL. Multiple ways to do that, but always make sure you're validating your websites. Make sure that you've actually pushed it up, committed your files, and done a push to update your live website.